Hello, my beautiful friends, family. Thank you for being here. I'm going to talk about something I find very important, actually. It's reclaiming your power. And when I talk about power, I'm referencing being in your own personal power, sovereignty. And I'm going to talk about the two types of sovereignty. When I reference it here in these videos, it's mostly around spiritual, personal sovereignty, where we can be free of our own limitations, stories of the past, toxic relationships, anything that doesn't serve us anymore, anything that isn't part of our purpose in life, our full authentic self, being in alignment with who we are. And a lot of us are starting to come into alignment with who we are. Some people are already there. Some people are working on it. Some people aren't. Before I was working in this field specifically, as I mentioned, I went through all sorts of stuff. It was really fun. But for years, for most of my life, I felt like I was almost like a tuning fork. When you hit a tuning fork, it just reverberates and it doesn't center, calibrate for a while. That's how I felt. And I said it often. I said that I feel like I'm not in my center. I feel like I don't know who I am. I'm not confident in myself. I feel so out of alignment, but I didn't know what that really truly meant until I did this work. And until now I teach the work. Now I'm sending it out there because I know how it feels to be out of alignment and to not be in your power. And for years, I would give so much. I would overextend, I would chop my rate down, I would work for free. I had no value of myself. I was so self-conscious, low confidence, low self-worth, lack belief. It was brutal. It was awful. It was horrible. I couldn't survive like that until I actually ended up not being able to survive and had to wrap everything up and rethink my life because how I was living and what I was doing wasn't working. And I knew that inside I had a lot of strength and a lot of ability, but I couldn't align it. I couldn't work with it in a way where I was in alignment with that energy. And so talking about our own power. So I'm going to talk about our own sovereignty, and then I'm going to actually dive a little bit into what's happening on a collective level in our environment, in our society. And I was a little hesitant to touch on this because the majority of the content on my channel is about healing, personal growth, spiritual growth, but I cannot help but not notice other things that are happening in our world, and I know it's all tied together. So just bear with me. If you're not interested in that type of content, I do apologize because I know there are a lot of people here who might not be, or you might be, and that's wonderful. But I'm going to tie it together. I'm working on a course right now to distribute out to the public, and several courses actually. And the first one that I'm going to be launching, it's a mini course. It's 7 days or 7 weeks, however long anyone would choose to work with it for. It's opening and healing the heart. And these are stages that were very strong downloads actually. And they were stages that I have gone through myself. And I finally had time to think about the structure of how it would look like or how it would be to go through the steps for connecting with the heart, opening the heart, healing the heart, and being confident and regaining our power in our heart space. Because we are moving to, again, a higher state of consciousness. And what that means is that we have to be powerful within our heart. Not only heal our heart, but be strong in our heart. And when we are strong in our center, we're unstoppable. We can see beyond. We can see beyond. We feel our heart is tied to our intuition. So when we are listening to our heart, and that is an exercise unto its own, connecting with our heart and feeling our intuition and listening to it is such a sensitive exercise. That on its own is a very special and very important thing to work on. But even moving into a space where we are in alignment with our heart, listening to it and being strong with our decisions and knowing what is right, what is wrong within us, as in what feels right, and honoring that, for yourself. And when we are in alignment with ourselves, then we're able to make decisions from that place of alignment, from our place of personal power. The Lover's card in tarot, that's what it is. it basically represents, well, it could represent relationship, of course, but at the foundation of it represents us being in alignment with what we value the most, having the energies within us in alignment, so that we are in our center, so that we can choose and decide from a place of love. And when we are choosing and deciding from a place of love, then we are in our knowing. We are in our inner knowing. We're making decisions from a very powerful place. It takes a lot of time to regain that confidence. If you've lost confidence, if you feel out of alignment, it takes a little time to regain that alignment. It takes a little bit of time to go into the knowing of who you are, and being confident in saying no, and being confident in saying yes, and knowing that, not saying yes or no because you don't want to offend someone, or because maybe that opportunity might go away, or maybe if you lower your rate or you take on this work, then you might gain something more out of it down the long run. You know, it's like those like wishy-washy kind of feelings that we get when we make choices, where we feel like it's coming from a place of I should do this. If I do this, I could get that. No, it's when you are in alignment, you know it is a hard yes, a hard no in whatever case you're dealing with. And when we're in our strength, we're able to also allow for boundaries, right? And I've mentioned this before, the happiest people are those who say no. They have the most energy. They have the ability to say no. I love you, but no. And it doesn't mean that you don't care, you don't love that person. But when you say, when you come from it in a place where you can say it with love, I care for you, I love you, but no, I can't help you, or I can't do this for you, or I can't do that. And for years, again, I would overextend myself nonstop. It was a real problem for me. It was damaging for me completely. And now I know, and it's still a continual exercise for me not to overgive and overextend. I still have to catch myself. But the more I am connected with my heart, the more open I am, the stronger I am with my decisions, and the stronger I am with who I am. So we have the 7 stages of opening and connecting with the heart, and that's the program I'm working on. So if we go from all the stages to starting off, understanding the heart, understanding where your heart is, how do you feel in your heart, and then moving, and I will record another video that will go deeply into this, but moving all the way from understanding your heart, going through the process of releasing, and then going into the process of opening, expanding, just being able to understand how expansive your heart space is. And then going into boundaries, being solid and being firm with your internal knowing and your internal knowledge and yourself and what is important for you. And knowing when to say yes, knowing when to say no, being strong with yourself, finding your center, and then moving into affirmations. I am part of the universe. I am an expression of the universe. I'm divine knowledge, divine love. I am successful. I am love. I'm worthy of love. I'm worthy of receiving love. I'm worthy of giving love. And so remember, this is all moving you into the stage of a higher state of consciousness and working with the frequency of love. And it is so powerful. You don't even have to think of your decisions. You're just going to know. And this is going to help move into a state of sovereignty, letting go of old paradigms, letting go of old lack beliefs, letting go of old hurt and pain that we've been a prisoner for so long, letting go of the old systems and cultural influences that we've had on ourselves throughout our lifetime, letting go of family, ancestral things that have played out in this lifetime that have prevented us from fully being in an expansive expression of love. And self-worth is all connected. How you feel about your worth, how you feel about yourself, how you feel about your expression of love, of who you are, of the divine, amazing, beautiful person you are, is all connected. And so then from there we move into knowing that you are limitless. It's the stages, the 7 stages. So it is a beautiful process, but at the end, it's like the 7 chakras, it's the 7 stages of ascension. It is moving you towards understanding and knowing that you are limitless. And I went through this process of designing the program, and I do have to say I'm quite impressed by it. I'm quite impressed by it. Because at the end, you'll go into the stage of understanding how limitless you really are. And that's when your heart is fully open and strong with that. And a lot of the times, if we've been hurt, we might think that, well, if my heart is open, I'm just going to get hurt again. And I've said this many times before, hurt and pain is only at the frequency that we label it. So someone who might have the same experience might not resonate in the same severity with them as it would for you, or vice versa. The hurt and the pain that we label things as comes from our past, comes from past wounds, comes from our personal beliefs. And when we get to identify what they are, then we get to understand, okay, pain is only as much as pain is only the severity that I give it, right? But still, when your heart is strong, you are worthy of love. You are worthy of the love that you want. You're worthy of the love you deserve. It's your birthright to experience love and abundance at an infinite magnitude. And you'll come into this place of knowing, we are all moving towards that. And you'll come into this place of knowing that your heart can be open and receive love. And if you experience a challenge, it isn't going to hurt as much. You know, it might hurt. We go through challenges all the time, but you'll have a different outlook on it. And you'll look at love and pain as, you'll look at pain through the lens of love. There'll be more understanding. There'll be more compassion. There'll be more care. And also, when we're in that frequency of love, we get to care for ourselves more. We get to invest in ourselves. We get to work on ourselves. We get to love ourselves. We get to fill our cup first, rather than depleting ourselves and not connecting with ourselves. So this is very important. This is so powerful, and that will help you align. That will help you step into your power, because you'll have the energy reserves to be strong, to be discerning, and to become sovereign. So sovereign of the old confines of the past, of the old limitations, the old beliefs, the old relationships, the old toxicities. If anything pops up into your mind today, in this present moment, or today or another day around this present time, maybe something that happened in the past, maybe a family member, maybe a friend, maybe a past relationship pops up in your mind just like that out of nowhere, then you get set off, you get tired, or you could get tired, upset, angry, vindictive, whatever it is. It's normal. We all go through this. That's something that needs to be released. That's something that you can release from, but that's draining your energy. And when we've had so much hurt in our heart and we don't focus on it and we don't allow for it to open up, we become boxed in, we become small, and we want to just hold ourselves in and not express and not allow for energy to move freely through us and allow for opportunities to find us. We become very contained and very, again, safe, trying to feel safe. But this isn't. This is actually the opposite of that. It's limited when we're in this energy of trying to hold on and protect. I don't want to get hurt again. I don't want to. And no, you won't. It'll be different. It's going to be a different kind of energy, but you need to resolve that old hurt and resolve that old pain, to work through it, to release it, so you can open up to something far more expansive and far more powerful. And it is all about stepping into your power and claiming that. And from that place, now I'm going to move into the other, sovereignty. We've lost our power with outside influences or outside decisions that we make in the outside world. And it does come from this. It does come from within, from us being confident with who you are, what you believe in, what you want, holding your power in what you believe in and what's happening in the world. What maybe some of the old systems in government and politics aren't working. What if 1 million people, I'm in Canada, we're going through a lot right now that's very disturbing actually. What if 1 million people got together and said, I don't believe in this anymore. We're not going to be part of the system anymore, and did something about it. Not violent. That's not where I'm going at all. But made a hard decision about things, about not agreeing to the way things are, or the way things are going. but they don't. A lot of people are starting to express their voice and starting to stand up for what they believe in. But still, society as a whole, and I don't want to get too complicated, and I don't really want to touch too much on this to overcomplicate what I'm talking about, even though I have a lot of thoughts and feelings about this. It goes back to our personal power and being in alignment with who we really are. A lot of society has lost that. Lost being in alignment with who they are and seeing and understanding things from that place of truth, from that place of openness. And when we see and when we take in information, when our heart is open, we're connected to higher intelligence. We become, again, more tuned in with our intuition. But again, back to the personal power and sovereignty, it's just being strong and not having to worry too much about what other people are going to think or say, and not be influenced or not try to do something or prove something so that we can be accepted or so that we might get ahead in life or something of that nature. Like, it's almost like making a decision without worrying about gaining something in return. And I feel that a lot of society, or this old paradigm, not being in your center, not being confident with who you are, there are just a lot of decisions that are made to either gain something in return, if it's being accepted, if it's an opportunity, if it's acknowledgement in society or online or something of that nature. People who are in their power don't care. They don't care about that. That doesn't matter, because they're serving a higher purpose. And when you're also in your power, I should mention, when you're manifesting from a place of pure connection with your source self, you're manifesting far beyond what you might even realize. Your manifestations are going to be so much more powerful because you are manifesting from that place of alignment, meaningful manifestation. When people are manifesting a house, a good-looking partner, a car, like a high luxury car, something of that nature, that isn't going to necessarily make them feel fulfilled. It might not stick. It might not be sustainable, because they might not be manifesting from a place of being in alignment, manifesting from a place of meaning. Now, like I said before, there's nothing wrong with any of those things that I just said, nothing at all. But if we are manifesting from a place of just wanting to have a certain image, or wanting to fit within a certain social acceptance criteria, it's not going to provide meaning. It's not going to provide happiness. It's not going to provide richness in the richness space, not monetary. So when you're manifesting from this, when you're connected with your center and you're manifesting from a place of love, and love is abundance, love is the expression of the universe. And when you're in that frequency, then you are manifesting so much of everything: love, happiness, abundance, success. And when I walk people through this process, it is really connecting with the feeling of that. I am this expression. I am part of that story. That is who I am, right? There's no trying to prove or trying to fit in or trying to be accepted. It's so far beyond that. Right? So the sovereignty, again, I'm not going to touch too much on the societal, political side, although I do have thoughts there. I'm going to leave that as is. But it is all connected. It is all connected. And the more that we can be in our center, in our hearts, then the more in our power we will be in all areas of life. And that is a beautiful power. And like I said, it's not our power. You know the kind of power I'm talking about, the love power, where we get to dismantle all of the reactions. And when you're in the 3D, when you're in lower density environments, there's a need to react. There's a need to be heard. There's a need to prove. There's a need to shut other people down. There's a need to shame or judge others. There's this need. It's the reaction, it's the ego. But when you're in your authentic power, that stuff is just noise. I really do hope that we can move towards a less noisy future. All right, my loves, I do hope that is offering some guidance for you at this time, and this video finds you when you need it the most. I will be seeing you soon, and I'm wishing you all the best. Take care.